Welcome to our week where our spirituality, you know, embraces our humanity, or our humanity embraces our spirituality, because we are spirit beings living in this material body. So we need to really connect with our spirit self so that way we can be on top of things. Um, because it is the spirit that is above matter, not matter over spirit. So we see that this concept has been taught backward, where our people believe that the spirit is an external being or force, that you need to do certain things to invite the spirit, to invite God, to invite whoever is your mediator. But here in this presentation, we always talk about our spiritual self. That's why I call myself a spiritual psychologist, because we can only function properly if we connect with the God within, that spirit self. It is not external. You have been taught wrong, and we are here to correct that mistake. So, for those who are interested, who are following us, we appreciate you. We appreciate you for taking out the time. I want to appreciate the director of Amba TV network. So, and everyone who is contributing to make sure these programs are out there available to our people. Yes. Also, I want to take this time to thank the Ambazonia people at the home front. You did a fantastic job, very phenomenal. Yes, you made the statement again in 20th of May 2025 that Ambazonia is your land. It does not belong to anybody. And so you have the sole custody to run the affairs of that land. Thank you so much. And kudos to the ASA, Amazonia State Army, for doing a fantastic job. That the ground was boiling. Yes, we saw that. The ground was boiling. Keep up, keep up, keep up. Amazonia is your land. That is where you chose to be born, and it belongs to you. Do not allow nobody to take it away from you. We see how Africa is rising. Yes, it is rising. She's rising. The lion that was very um, lion again in esoteric knowledge or interpretation represents your conscience. So the people of Africa, their conscience was messed up, so they couldn't tell right from wrong. They couldn't tell what was theirs and what was not theirs. So now they are awakened to take back what rightfully belongs to them. Okay? So let's go to the topic of today. The mistake. This mistake must be corrected. Yes, that's what we are talking about. This mistake must be corrected. So when you see the shift that is going on, the revolution that is going on in Africa, it was because of a mistake that was never supposed to exist. That was never supposed to be. And so they have awakened to say, oh, this thing was a mistake. This was an error that we need to fix it, because they have depended on the international community, the United Nations, the ICJ, the African Union, the ECOWAS, and all of that, and nobody is coming to their rescue. And it was about time for them to stand up and take matters into their hands, because that's how you change the error, the mistake that was made to your identity. It was about identity, that they made a mistake on your identity. And we have lived under this mistaken identity for so long that we have been trampled on, we have been dehumanized, we have been persecuted, we have been unalive because of this mistaken identity. And so they took us for a ride that we don't know who we are. But today we are waking up. We are waking up as that sleeping lion that is waking up to put things back in order. Because your conscience is the law of God within you, to tell right from wrong, to do the right thing. That is the purpose of your conscience. It is a spirit guide or guidance that represents the God within. So until we wake up, as the awakening is happening, we see the shift is going on. Yes, countries like the Sahel, they are nationalizing all their resources. They are waking up their agricultural sector, that they were once told that, oh, your country is a desert, too hot, and certain crops cannot grow there. Yes, they come and even destroy your seed, ask you to destroy your own seed. I was so amazed. Was it amazed I could use? When early this month I asked for a family member who got diagnosed with cancer. So I asked, I said, well, I know that there are a lot of soursop fruit over there. You could get some soursop fruit and squeeze out the juice. That will also help to relieve some pain. I'm not a doctor, um, but these are all home remedies that we try to do. So, to my greatest dismay, they told me that soursop is very scarce. That some years ago, people from the West came and, you know, give people all the wrong information to cut down their soursop. That soursop causes cancer. We grew up eating soursop. We didn't know about all this cancer, all of that, until we got here to the white man land. So how come now soursop is something that is giving cancer to people? And people bought that negative, destructive, wicked idea, and they went ahead and cut their soursop trees, and most people don't have soursop anymore. So if you are listening to my voice right now, those are all strategies that are being used by the West to make you, when you lack those things, then they bring in all their deadly viruses and all of that stuff to destroy you. And when you are there helpless, they come now as they are your saviors. They come as your savior and then bring in their own pharmaceuticals and all of that, making them look like demigods to you. So if you are listening to my voice today, go get your soursop seeds and start planting them back. Yes, the seeds are not destroyed. Some people have them somewhere in Amazonia. Get your seeds and start to plant your soursop back. because they want to use all this food thing to kill Africans, huh? To destroy you. So you come again and come to them and look to them as they are your savior. You see that? So they do everything, because if somebody can distort your own vision of who you are, they have already penetrated you. They can penetrate you through your mind and that mental programming and all of that. So you lose all your own essence of being. And now they are controlling you. They're controlling you, and they bring in their systems. And these systems, we see them in Africa for 60 years plus. Nothing has happened. Africa has not evolved industrially or otherwise, because they stole our identity. Huh? That was a mistake. And they gave us this wrong identity that you see Africans, they look at themselves like, oh, we cannot do nothing. That's why it took 60 years plus for good conscience leaders to rise up now, because of this mistaken identity. They made you to look small. They made you to look fearful that, oh, we cannot do it. Look dependent and always begging. Always begging. So, this mistake must be corrected, and this generation will correct that mistake. It's not going to be passed down to the next generation. This generation must correct that mistake. Okay? So, mistaken identity is a situation in which someone is mistakenly thought to be someone. You see? And how do they get to put all these ideologies in you, this wrong doctrine in you, that they go through the religion. That's why I'm always attacking religion, because religion is it was supposed to tell you or teach you your spirituality. But you see, because religion is there to just preach to you your their own narrative. That's what they do. Religion is all about preaching. Preach and let the people know that this is what they're supposed to do, this is what they're supposed to do, this is who they are, and all of that. So you are limited there in that place of knowledge. I gave us the seven spirits: knowledge, understanding, fear, spirit, power, counsel, and wisdom. The first one is knowledge, the second is understanding. So if the people don't want to seek understanding, then you stay there in that place of knowledge, and they keep feeding you with all their own ideas and concepts of who God is and who you're supposed to go through before you get to God. They keep you there in that place of knowledge. So that's why you see religion, they always preach. I am here to teach you. That is what? The second spirit or ability. That is understanding. Understanding now is someone who has decided to go beyond that your religious preaching or scriptures that you're reading. You go beyond that to start seeking for the truth. That's where you start to separate things. You separate whether this scripture, what is it talking here like this? And you look at the reality. And does this two does it match? No, then you use your own mind. That's why you have a mind. The mind is for you to process thought. And while processing a thought or an idea or concept, you use your mind again to sort out what is right and from what is wrong, what is good from what is bad. You look at your likes and your dislikes, and then you choose a path. this is what I want. You see? So if this is what you want, then you go ahead and you focus on that to manifest your narrative or your goal or your desire. But when you are already confined in that lower level of knowledge, where you are given all of these doctrines, all of these ideas and a concept in the system that and a programming that are there, you're just taking everything in without filtering, then you assume that identity from that information that you're getting. You see, that's why most people, Africans, are stuck in religion because we are there getting the information, it keep piling. We are not concerned. The things that you read in your scriptures, they don't, some of them don't make sense, and you don't care to go and say, oh, no, this thing does not make sense. Because the moment you start to think outside the box, that God within will rise up to give you the right information. I'm not making this up. What I say here is what I'm experiencing. It's not about watching people's video, because some people come and teach this consciousness thing is from other people's videos or books that they have read. I am it. So I know what I'm talking about. And I am here for those who are ready to take this journey of consciousness, of exploring your spirituality, your spiritual self, because it's a personal thing, a personal experience. It's not something that somebody will pray and lay their hands on you. No, you are the one to make that decision. And once you make that decision, you go ahead in confidence and in courage to express this new identity that you have assumed, because that is your true identity. Okay? So it says, if anyone can distort your vision of self or your identity, then they can equally control you, because that is what holds a person, each one of us. You see people get depressed, they get all sort of trauma, and they are broken inside. It's because that identity has been shattered. That self-confidence is no longer there. That self-perception is no longer there. That self-worth is no longer there. And anybody can come and dump anything on you. So the colonizers, they are very good with this psychology. They know how the human mind works. So when they came, they brought their Bible, they brought their Quran and other kinds of things. Your own African religion or spirituality that was taught to show you that you are an embodiment of this divine force or nature or God. It was not from outside. They came and destroyed some of those. Today you have the Ethiopian Bible that is still there in Ethiopia. That was one of the African spirituality books that they could not destroy. That was well preserved, you know. So they come and they put all of these images in your mind, and you keep. Now, once this image has taken over your mind, everything you do is centered around that image. Huh? It's centered around that image. In your dreams, you see that image. In your whatever you call that name, oh, you do this and all of that. But in actuality, you are the one doing all the things, all the work. You are doing it. But you're giving glory to what? To something that did not exist. Huh? So once that image in your mind, and the aspect of the mind that is responsible in imagery is that ability of fear. The ability of fear. In the different types of thinking, you call it the analytical thinking. That is where you get an image about yourself, where you create your own ego, who you want to be. That is that ability that is responsible to do that. So once that is messed up and another image replaces that, my brother, my sister, you are under control. You become a puppet. Huh? You become a puppet that is being controlled. So when they tell you move left, you move left. When they say move right, you move right. You see that? So mistaken identity arises from negative mental programming designed to distort a person's true image or identity. So all of this programming, all of this, indoctrination that make you to be, powerless. You're not bold enough, you're not courageous enough, you don't have enough confidence to do things. And that's why when we talked last week about rebellion versus revolution, why so many people at the rebellious stage, they drop out because of this lack of confidence, lack of that self-worth. You don't see yourself like you really desire this thing, because everything that we are fighting for was already there. Huh? You were born in Amazonia. Is it not your land? So somebody came and then encroached into your land and want to push you out. So you got to fight. It is a noble thing to do because the land belongs to you. So too in spirituality, that consciousness already existed in us. It was that consciousness that you were formed, gave you the cells, the knowledge, and all of that to form the various parts and organs in your body. So it existed. It's not something you're fighting for, or you want to look for someone to in order to tap into that person's consciousness, or that person is going to give you this, like what we see in some religion, that oh, they want to lay hands on somebody. I'm giving you the anointing. You don't give no anointing to anybody. You don't pass nothing to anybody because it is already in them. It's just they don't remember. They don't remember. So if you don't remember, others will come and impose their narrative on you. You see that? So we go to the next point. It says, if you want to change a mistaken identity, change your consciousness. You see that? What I just said. You were born in consciousness. You were born in abundance. So all the capacities, all the abilities, they are in you. You don't need nobody to lay hands on you or pray on you or do all of that. They are in you. But because what? You have forgotten. You don't remember. So you start thinking that, oh, this external being, or this your spiritual leader here will do this for you and this will happen. No, the elites of the world, the 1% or 2% elite who understood this principle, they use it. And even though they are using it to in a negative way because they want to be at the top to control the world, that's where they made a mistake. And that mistake is what we are going to correct in this generation. A few people cannot hold a whole 7.4 billion people hostage like that. No. So who are we? Who are we? So Africa is rising up, it's waking up, because even the West who claim that they too are under they are under their own people's control. They are under their control. So some of them, they are really happy of what is happening in Africa. They are really happy because they know that somewhere in Africa, some people who have the courage, who know who they are rising up. And that's how you stand up to a bully. Because if you don't do it, they are not going to back down. They're not going to back down. That is their own nature, to cause destruction. That is their nature. That reprobate mind, that is them, to cause destruction. Because where destruction is, that's where they thrive. They thrive on those negative energy. I've spoken about energy here. Negative energy is where this 1% or 9% of the elite, that is where they thrive. So when they are committing their atrocities, you who is ignorant and you're there, that energy you are releasing, that ignorance, and it mixes with their own evil, so the universe cannot tell which is which. So the universe will give back the same energy and bring more suffering. So we got to separate that. You see? We got to separate that. In order to correct this mistake, we got to separate ourselves from that negative energy, that confusing energy, that you have wicked people causing their atrocities and they go unpunished, while the few good people who want to do good, they get killed and nobody punish the evil people. Do you see that? Do you see that? It's because our energies are conflicting. Our energies are conflicting. So you need to sort things out. Are you standing for righteousness? Are you standing to do the right thing? Are you going to use your conscience wisely to do the right thing, to separate a good from bad? Are you going to do that? Because when you do that, then you're sending a good signal to the universe, who picks on this signal and knows that, yes, this is what you want. This is what you want. And it will go, those who resonate with that, those who align with that, they will come from all the corners of the world to support your vision. The next point is how the system use different tools to distort your identity and control you. Huh? How the system use different tools to distort your identity and control you. We see why Africa is rising today, because these systems, these tools that were used by the West, the colonizer, the imperialist, they were pretty much kind of like suffocating the African people. That is where you say, I can't breathe. It got to a point where they say, you know what, I need to get this, I need to get this thing off my neck. I need to get this off my back because I can't breathe. I can't take it anymore. Enough is enough. So they had designed all those, I talked about the octopus system, where you have the CIA, you have the government, where they come to overthrow your government if they don't want, if the leader tries to be enlightened and want to, you know, develop his country and take care of the well-being of his people, they come and overthrow you or take you out. Huh? You have the CIA that are there working with some of the presidents in Africa. Huh? You have military bases. That some African countries like the three Sahel, they're kicking the military bases out. Take your bases to your own country. We don't have military bases in your countries. How come you have military bases in our own country? So does it mean that the African man does not know strategies on how to fight? That you need the West to come and show you how to secure your own countries? Is that right? Does that sound right in your ears, Africans? Does that sound right? The other tool that they use, the media, they put their own media, that they sponsor their own media stations and networks and all of that to propagate their misinformation and fake news and all of that. Huh? And you see, they can still use the Africans, use some of them who are in a social media, whether they are vloggers or they are bloggers and all of that, they're TikTokers, to come and pay you some money, and you go about propagating false narrative, like what just happened. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago, where they say, "Oh, the Ivory Coast president has been overthrown," and now it turned out to be fake news. You see that? They use science, where they can manufacture all those deadly virus and a bacteria and all of that stuff to just to suffocate you, so you don't look up, so you don't see any worth in living. You don't find nothing interesting in you. All the capabilities in you, you can't even discover them, because you are so overwhelmed with these problems, conflict, wars, genocide, all of that. They use only your own people. You see how stupid the Africans are? That's why they look at you like a second class citizen or subhumans. Because whatever they bring to you, you are a president, you are willing to do that and execute that to your own people. To your own people. So how else do you want them to look at you? You see, they come and control your economy. That's another tool where they're printing your money. You are using their own currency that they don't even use in their own countries. They give you all those paper nonsense in there. And then they take your resources, your natural resources, in exchange. Huh? They bring their financial institution like the World Bank, IMF, to come and give you loan. We see our president, African president, always running and rushing to them for peanuts called loans. When you have trillions and trillions of dollars under your soil. Huh? Now, when the Sahel, they woke up and they have nationalized their mining industry. They are making billions of US dollars on gold. So what will you lack in your country if you are selling just gold? Huh? Africans, Amazonians, those of you who are still trying to do all of that, what are you going to gain from those peanuts that they drop in your hands? When Amazonia will be in total control of her resources, huh? Building the nation, our children will have all the free education and whatever that they need to live a fulfilled life. Is that not what you desire for your children? Those of you who think that you are here in America or Europe and you brought some of your family members, did you bring all your family members or your village people or your neighborhood where you grew up back home? Did you bring them? So are they going to continue to struggle? To struggle? Everyday life is a struggle. Everyday life is a struggle. Like, what on earth did we come here to do? To come and struggle for other people to be benefiting from our own resources? Is that why we are here? To be servants to other people? No. This mistake must be corrected in this generation. We're not going to pass down this error to the next generation. It must be corrected. The next point, it says, how to overcome a mistaken identity and defeat any system. You speak truth to power. Be intentional, identify with it, with truth, and be consistent. You see, it is always, I've always said that your your level of consciousness or your experience determines your level of consciousness. If you are experiencing all this struggle, hardship, and all of that stuff for something that rightfully belongs to you, and then you are now acting as a beggar to it, that determines your level of consciousness. And consciousness is shrouded into four aspects or categories. You have truth, you have conscience, you have righteousness, and justice. So if you are struggling this first plane of truth, you're still struggling with truth that you don't even know who you are. You have been distorted. Yeah, the truth has been distorted. That where you are supposed to take absolute control to change your narrative, they are bringing you images here. They are telling you something else. Even your own history, they have twisted it and say, oh, you have independence by joining La Republique or independence by joining Nigeria. What is that? What kind of a story or a narrative is that? How do you do that? That is confusion. It is confusion, putting the people in confusion. So they're making you right there from the day of independence that we were already in our own country, taking control, ruling ourselves. And these demons, they left their country after they have fought themselves and make it like they were fighting world war. What kind of world war were they fighting? Huh? They left there, they have destroyed themselves, destroyed their economies, and they're looking for somewhere where they can come and get people's resources to build back their economy. And they came and put this confusion among us. And now we don't know where we belong. That is just somebody came and just distorted your identity. Oh, join Nigeria for your independence, or join La Republique for your independence. That was a confusion right there. Everything was wrong right there. And each time our people want to rise up, oh, they take you out. Who gave them the audacity to stay in their own country and enjoy all the resources of their country while we are there scrambling, begging for crumbs in our own land? Our people, our children running here, they're in the forest, being beaten, women giving birth in the forest, and all of that. Villages are raised down because of what? A wicked people. that come to use wicked Africans. You see that? Wicked Africans like La Republique. And they come and use your own again. Those foolish Amazonians who claim that they are one Cameroon. This mistake must be corrected. So we have to go back to your consciousness within. Everything starts from within. If you cannot align with that government within you, that government of truth, conscience, righteousness, and justice, to see that your people deserve all the good of the land, the best, that it is their God-given land. So they deserve everything in that land. You have to go back to look into your conscience so as to correct this mistake. Because if you want to stay on the sideline and say, oh, that one thing, we have been here 9 years, that one thing is still going on. You who claim that one thing, you are going to that Amazonia. Are you going there for free? We see some of your videos. You guys who are going there, we see some of your videos. Are you proud that the country that you grew up, after being in Europe, America, you're seeing all how their countries are developed, and you go back to that S-hole country? Huh? Are you proud of that? You see, you are just that kind of person who don't want to separate good from bad. You are so confused because you go there and see all the dead, all the nasty, evil things that are going on there, and then you come here, you think, oh, that one a thing. You are the confused one. It's time, my brother, my sister, to start to separate good from bad. That alone will take us a long way. That's how we're going to correct this mistake. By separating. It is time to separate good from bad, right from wrong. When you do that, you move this revolution forward. You move the independence of Amazonia closer. You will move so many things, the African continent, if people start to use their conscience. That's how we're going to correct this mistake. Look at only the three Sahel boys. Huh? Look at what they're doing. Because they have a conscience. Do you see that? They say we're going to change this error, this mistake. Because they started having conscience. They prick into their consciences and say, our people deserve better. Our people deserve the best. Our people deserve all the good of the land. Why will you stay in your land, some foreigner coming to tap resources every day, and then you are there suffering? And you think it is okay? No, it is not. We got to get into our conscience. Because if you stay and you don't do it, the people are rising. You see, one thing about this energy thing, once that narrative is changed, once a people rise up to say, hey, this thing was wrong, we're going to do the right thing, we're going to correct it. You see, it already sends a signal to the universe. And you will see people, even they are not from your African continent, even they are not from Amazonia, those who resonate with change, who can tell right from wrong, they will come and align with that vision. Okay? So, understanding the law of conscience, it is what will change this mistake. It is what will correct this error. Conscience. Your conscience is needed at this time. There is no half truth, there is no half conscience, there is no half righteousness, there is no half justice. Everything is absolute, one source. So when you are standing for truth, you have to go all the way until justice is done. You're not dropping it. Because if you dropped it, it means you came there with a corrupt mind. You came with that thought of half truth, half conscience, half righteousness, half justice. And so those, they don't stand the test of time. They always fall out. Mistaken identity has significant psychological, philosophical, and spiritual implications. Psychological implications: it can lead to confusion, low self esteem, or low self image. That is what happens when a mistake is not corrected. And this is what has happened to a lot of Africans. So when they see these courageous people, like in Ambazonia, Dr. Sako, and all the Ambazonians, the ASA, who are standing up, who are fighting, these courageous and brave fighters in their diaspora and at home front, when they see people like that, those who have been waiting, you see them, they align. That's why it is important. If you cannot be present at the home front, you are here in the diaspora, come and draft your money, $1,000, to support this diplomacy, to support the boys in the bush, to support them. $1,000. It is not too late. We're still collecting money. Huh? All revolutions in the world, they were fought with that. Ours is not different. Okay? So bring in your money if you're in the diaspora. That's how you can fight. All right? Thank you. Philosophically, it raises doubt about yourself and your personality. So this is what the colonizer did, that Africans doubted themselves. A once brave continent, it became now like a banana republic, where they say when you make yourself a banana, monkey will eat you. Huh? That's how Africa became. But now, that lion is waking up. The lion esoterically represents what? Your conscience. Because when you look at the nature or a behavior of a lion is always an animal that goes in the jungle. You want to be the jungle king and all of that, devour people, devour other animals and all of that stuff, even a bigger elephant and all of that. That is a covetous spirit. It's a covetous spirit. But once you come to start having that conscience, start using your conscience, treating other human beings like you would treat yourself, that is conscience, then things will start to shift. You're not going to look at the other human being who has all the features of a human and you say, oh, you want to get rid of this person. Oh, this person does not deserve all the good in their land. You want to come destabilize them in their own land. That is covetousness. And that is the other side of a literal lion. Because a literal lion covets the position in the jungle. How come a tiny little animal will come and be a jungle king? Huh? devouring other animals bigger than it. That is covetousness. And that's what, when you have relegated yourself to that beast, that's what you do to other fellow humans. It's only a beast that will go and devour another beast, like the lion does. So humans who have picked up that nature, when the beast nature has come out, they always want to control other humans, always want to destabilize other humans, unalive other humans, and all the dehumanization that you can think of the world. These beasts who have relegated themselves to beast, that beast nature has eaten up their human conscience, and they desire nothing but to bring down other humans. But on the flip side of the lion, which is the esoteric side, if you have your conscience, you will look at other human beings as you will look yourself. You will treat yourself. You will not bring in images to distort their own image. So all of these strategies they put in place to make you lose your own identity, lose your own essence, and become a beggar, looking at them like, oh, they are the superior being, or uh, um, the demigods. The spiritual aspect. In spiritual implication, you are disconnected from your spirit self within, which is your higher self. Huh? Because the spirit self, whatever you are going through in your mind, whatever is going through in your mind, what you project out is what is going through in your mind. So it's like you are pushing um another you out there, and that you reflect what is going on in your mind. It's a what? As a mind thinks, so it is. Huh? So, as within, as without, whatever you're thinking, that's what you're going to project to the universe. So, Africans, Amazonians, it is time to change this narrative. This mistake must be corrected. Inside, that being in you is already complete. It has everything. It's abundance. It's all potentials in you. So how do you bring this spirit self outwardly? By taking care of these other problems. And how do we put an end to these problems? If we go back to our conscience, we ask ourselves these sincere and honest questions. Is this how we want our people to live in the next 10 years, the next 20 years, the next 50 years, the next 60 years? Is this how our people are going to continue to live in their own land, becoming slaves? Not even second class slave, third class slave under La République, which is under France. Are we going to continue to do this? But I tell you here boldly that it's not going to happen. We're not going to pass this baton down to the next generation. We of this generation, we're going to put an end to this error, this mistake that was made for a people who once control themselves, rule themselves with all intelligence, that they have been subjugated to become like beggars. No, we have to put an end. If you have any dignity in you, Amazonians, if you have any dignity left, this is the time to come and draft. Draft if you're in the diaspora, draft. If you're at the home front, stand up for truth. Stop betraying your people. Stop betraying your people. Fighters, you stand up and fight, because if you don't, you all be unalive. There is no mercy for these people. They are determined. Africa is their bread basket, and they're going to use your own brothers that you claim that they are your brothers. They are the chiefs. They are the funds. They are the administrators. They will use them to impose all kinds of punishment on you, and you will see that living hell. What you're seeing now is nothing. So, time to stand up and fight. Take back your country. Take back your home. The universe is waiting for you to make this decision, to take this next step and free your people. So, look at yourself. Look at yourself. Do you want some dignity? Do you want some respect? Because self perception is what? It's how you see yourself. And that's how you want others to see how you see yourself. But if you want others to see you as beggars, then they will treat you as a beggar, where you are always running to them to beg for crumbs, few millions of dollars, while you have trillions of dollars of resources, just gold alone. That's what Burkina Faso is building, rebuilding its nation. Just gold alone. We have them all over Africa. So, people, rise up and correct this mistake. We cannot be beggars forever. We cannot be slaves in our own land. Our children cannot continue to die unjustly. Our children cannot continue to live a life that is not theirs, a mistaken identity. No, we cannot let that happen. If you still have some dignity, I call on your conscience to rise now and fight for the freedom of Amazonia, fight for the freedom of Africa. There is nothing like home. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.